I'm delighted to welcome you to the Ministry of Works and Transport's launch of the Comprehensive National Coastal Monitoring Program. 5,128, the number of square kilometers comprising our Twin Island state. 974, the number of kilometers of coastline collectively between our Twin Island state. 80, the percentage of estimated socio-economic activities within our coastal zone. 70, the estimated percentage of population located on our coast, and 8, the percentage of public and private infrastructure by value located immediately on our coastline. What do these numbers mean? As a small island developing state, Trinidad and Tobago has always and will always continue to rely on our coastal and ocean resources. As a nation, we have made strides towards developing and implementing new policies pertaining to the management of the coastal zone. One of the most relevant is the move towards the development and implementation of an integrated coastal zone management policy through the Ministry of Planning and Development. However, we remain vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, such as sea level rise, storm surge, and other hazards. Most relevant to today's program is coastal erosion and coastal flooding. Coastal erosion has been described as a monster that beckons. On the southwest coast of Trinidad, the most noticeable indication of coastal erosion is the loss of Gallows Point, Los Gallows Point, which we all now commonly known as the Three Sisters. Between 1994 and 2007, the Institute of Marine Affairs would have recorded about 150 meters retreat at Coral Point. On the southeast coast of Trinidad, in the Guayguari area, an estimated 2.5 meters per year between 1993 and 1996. And currently, the Ministry of Works and Transport is conducting a study in Manzanilla, and we're measuring erosion rates of about 0.65 to 1.52 meters per year. But what does this translate to? So for example, over the next decade, we can possibly see the retreat of the Manzanilla shoreline by at least 10 meters. For those of us accustomed to traversing the Manzanilla-Mayara Road, there are stretches that are less than 5 meters between the road and the sea. And I'm sure we could remember the coastal floods of 2014 that resulted in the failure of this important thoroughfare and the resulting socioeconomic impacts. Regionally, we have called for 1.5 to stay alive, which paints a grim picture for small island developing states, with regional maximum annual temperatures forecasted to increase by an average of 1.27 to 1.8 degrees Celsius by 2030, and sea level rise by between 1 to 3 meters in this century. Translated, we can expect to see increased erosion rates and instances of coastal flooding, amongst other effects and impacts. The Ministry of Works and Transport has historically held the responsibility for coastal erosion and for coastal flooding. Through the Coastal Protection Unit, the Ministry is implementing the Critical Coastal Protection Program, what we describe as a multi-phase strategy for addressing, in a planned manner, the impacts of coastal erosion and coastal flooding. However, this agenda and its component parts have been challenged by the paucity of continuous and robust data sets. Important trends regarding waves and tides, currents, sediments, and bathymetry are lacking and poses a challenge to informed decision-making with regards to shoreline management. Traditionally, studies and investigations in Trinidad have, and I would also probably say Tobago, have been undertaken by 3 main categories of stakeholders: government organizations, industrial developers, private developers, and landowners. However, while these individual studies separately guide the development and implementation of localized shoreline management policies, this approach has led to project-specific and finite acquisition of data and information that are bound to confidentiality terms in most instances, and ad hoc development and construction of structures along our coast. Given these constraints, previous consultants commissioned by the ministry dating back to the early 1990s have recommended the need for a comprehensive system that can bring together coastal data sets and policy decisions with regards to shoreline management. Barring a solution, all of the coastal protection endeavors being undertaken will remain non-coherent and fragmented. Today, the Ministry takes pleasure in launching the Comprehensive National Coastal Monitoring Program, a platform through which we intend, together with our project partners, to bridge the gap between science and decision-making as it pertains to management of our shoreline. Procured through the National Infrastructure Development Company Limited, our consultant team comprising Coastal Dynamics Limited and the Danish Hydraulic Institute from Denmark has been charged with delivering several tangible deliverables, which include a national coastal assessment, development of a coastal information management system, development of a program management information system, a monitoring program framework inclusive of pilot initiatives both in Trinidad and in Tobago, and the establishment of baseline models for waves, currents, shoreline change, and amongst others. And in 2020, we will be hosting a National Coastal Symposium. We envision a future where data and the means to analyze it is available at the click of a button to a cross-section of stakeholders, coastal managers, planners, researchers, secondary school students, decision makers, and certainly our political directorate, where key performance indicators pertaining to shoreline and coastal management are consistently monitored, reported, and available to stakeholders. For us at the Coastal Protection Unit, a key benefit is the reduction in time and cost for the development of sustainable measures and improve efficiency in which these measures can be implemented, translated into what we hear every day, boots on the ground and value for money. In the development of this program, we have drawn from examples across the globe, such as the Channel Coastal Observatory in the United Kingdom, and right here in the region, the Barbados Coastal Zone Management Unit. The Comprehensive National Coastal Monitoring Program is what we consider to be demand-driven and cross-cutting, not only delivering benefits to a wide cross-section of stakeholders, but also to a wide cross-section of sectors, tourism, construction, fisheries, for example. It is a program with intimate alignment with umbrella national initiatives such as ICZM and the National Spatial Data Infrastructure. Consequently, this morning is about unifying efforts and energies in order to bring about a more sustainable solution for addressing coastal erosion and coastal flooding. It is not about duplicity of efforts. We aim to break this stereotype. Working together with our project partners in the execution of this initiative will lead us onto a more informed path towards safer and more resilient coastal communities. In closing, I give you 3 more numbers. 13, the UN Sustainable Development Goal on Climate Action. 5, the 5th team under the National Spatial Strategy to 2030, and I think my favorite, placing the environment at the center of social and economic development. And 4, Goal 4 of MOUT's Strategic Plan to 2024 to strengthen the resilience and adaptive capacity of drainage and coastal infrastructure against the effects of climate-related hazards and the natural disasters. These will continue to resonate as we prepare to deliver the benefits of the Comprehensive National Coastal Monitoring Program, and as we continue to strive for service excellence and innovation. Thank you and welcome.